Ladies, all standing, please have a seat. Words of Ecclesiastes. The season is set for everything. Time for every experience. Time for dancing, time for wailing. Time for birthing, and a time for dying. Time for speaking, time for silence. Time for seeking. We have this morning, time is losing. Bid farewell to Carole Speyer, teacher, daughter, sister, volunteer, friend, lover of nature and animals. June. Today we lay Carole's body to rest. Sanctifying. I'm Rabbi Rick Brody, Basque Jewish Community Chaplain with Jewish Family Service in Colorado. I was at Carole's side in the hospital the hour before she died. Some closure, comfort, and peace. And I've had the honor to learn about her from Larry, Frances Carole Speyer was born on June 6, 1936, the 16th day of the month of Sivan, year 5696 on the Hebrew calendar, Denver, Colorado, to Jack and Mamie Speyer. Carole died following a major stroke this past Monday, December 15th, 2025, 25th day of the month of Kislev, 5786, first day at Swedish Medical Center. Carole was 3 years old. Her brother Mike was born. A family of 4 started out in Capitol Hill, then to a home in Colfax and Eudora, and then in 1948 to their house at 322 Eudora Street, where Speyers lived for the next 48 years when Mamie died in 1996. Jack was a civil engineer working on construction and bridges. Carole reflected later in her life how proud she was of her father's work. Mamie stayed home with the kids. The family belonged to Temple Emmanuel. Carole and Mike attended religious school on Shabbat mornings, and Carole was confirmed at age 16. Mike recalls how the family would always celebrate Passover at their grandparents' home on Claremont Street, and that Carole spent a lot of time at that house with her grandparents. Carole also spent a lot of time with a close friend, Natalie Burrow. Jack and Mamie impressed upon their children the importance of reading. Carole embraced this lesson, developing her own love of literature. She also loved animals, becoming a vegetarian at a young age, enjoying horseback riding, cats and dogs at home. Mike recalls their Cocker Spaniel named Blondie, whom they were particularly fond of. Carole attended Grove Junior High School and East High School, where she graduated in 1954. She went straight on to college at CU, where she obtained a BA in English in 1958, followed by a master's degree in English. During college, she spent a semester abroad at Oxford, which she loved. After finishing her education, Carole went right into teaching, taking a job at Thomas Jefferson High School, Denver, where she taught until she retired in 1990. For many years, Carole taught the AP English course. She loved all genres of literature, both to read and to teach. Shakespeare held a special place in her heart. Carole was briefly married in her 20s. After her divorce, she mostly focused on her work, her own enjoyment of reading and animals, and caring for her parents. Jack died suddenly of a heart attack in 1982. Mamie lived 14 more years, and Carole made sure her mother received the care she needed. Carole got involved with volunteering for the Dumb Friends League decades ago. She had her own 2 cats for many years. When they died in the 90s, she didn't want to get new ones, so she focused on her volunteering. She would go out with Dumb Friends League and find stray animals on the street and rescue them for the shelter. Carole loved spending time in the mountains of Colorado and would go for many years to see the aspens in the fall. Mike remembers a 3-week trip to Europe that the 4 Speyers took when he and Carole were adults, and how much Carole loved Florence, all the beauty, art, and statues. Carole was receiving home care at her condo on Sheridan Place for the last several years, and we have some of her caregivers here with us today. The stroke she suffered this past week was devastating, too much for the body to recover from, even to a peaceful death. Thank all of you who are here today, as your presence helps to sanctify Carole's memory. Carole's one official mourner is her brother, Mike Speyer, in Seattle. Mike will be watching the recording of this ceremony later today. We also note a cousin of Carole's, Mike Bauman, in New Mexico. We're all contributing to the mitzvah, the sacred obligation to provide a dignified burial, turning her body to the earth from which we all come. An act of chesed shel emet, a kindness of pure truth that cannot be repaid by the deceased unless is performed with complete selflessness and love. Each of us also plays a role in the mitzvah of kavod hamet, the honoring of the deceased. So we express appreciation for Carole's 89 years of life, the impact she had in this world. Another way to honor Carole's memory is through the time-honored Jewish tradition of tzedakah, charitable giving in her name to the dumb friends. Today we'll reflect on Carole's life with appreciation for the memories she crafted for us, with relief, knowing that she died peacefully and free of suffering, and with sadness that her journey among the living and her ability to fashion new memories in the present has come to its end. But knowing that her legacy will endure. The time of mourning is a complicated time, filled with many emotions, memories, both bitter and sweet. Continue our service with the recitation of psalms and prayers, thus linking Carole's life with the 3,000-year-old tradition of the people of Israel, eternity of God. Psalm 15. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai mi yagor ba'olecha, mi yishkon behar kodshecha. Psalm of David. Do we deserve to enter God's sanctuary? Can we merit a place in the presence of God? Live with integrity. Do what is right. Speak the truth without deceit. Have no slander upon your tongue. Do no evil to others. Do not mistreat your neighbor. Spurn a contemptible person, but honor those who revere the eternal. Never retract a promise once made, though it may bring you harm. Lend no money at unfair rates, accept no bribe against the innocent. Make these deeds your own. Thus shall you stand firm. Polo natan, b'neshech v'shochad al naki lo lakan, oseh ele lo yimot leolam. Appropriate selection from the prophet Malachi that evokes the role of a teacher, one who gives instruction. Torat emet hayta b'fihu. True instruction is on her lips. She did not give voice to injustice. She walked with the eternal peace and honesty. She turned recite the 23rd Psalm, first in English, and I invite those of you who know it to join with me. Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My rod and my staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord. Adonai ro'i lo echsa, Bihinot deshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yenahaleni. Nafshi yeshovev, yancheni v'magle tzedek, l'man shalom. Dam ki'ele, v'detzama. Lo iram ki ata imati shivtecha umishantecha ema yenachamoni taroch lefanai shulchan תערוך לפני שולחן, תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צוררן. דהישנת בשמן ראשי, דהישנת בשמן ראשי, דהישנת בשמן ראשי, כוסי לוויה. אך טוב החסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. ידעי די די די, ידעי די די די, yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Now at the part of our ceremony where we customarily hear reflections from those who knew the deceased, who wish to offer their own thoughts and sentiments, speaking about their relationship with the one whom we are with. Larry wishes to forward and say some words.
I met Carole a long time ago. I met her professionally doing her tax return. That's how I got to know her. We became friends. And we visited every year. And the number one thing that she always wanted to talk about was family. Very proud of her father as a rabbi. Very fond of her brother. She always wanted to know about our family, my wife Bonnie, our kids, her parents, and we visited about that. She was a staunch supporter of Israel. We spoke of that often. She was a good person. She cared a lot, again, about family. We told her that we had been to Israel and she wanted to know all about that. She was very excited about that. Told her about Bonnie's father who had survived the Holocaust, and she was very interested in that. And she was really into the family aspect. And besides that, she did a really good job of keeping track of her finances. And she was very good at managing her finances and did a lot of good for me as a tax preparer. So she was a good person. We'll miss her.
So as some of you might have heard me remarking to Larry when I arrived, we were not expecting so many of you to be here today. As we know, Carole doesn't have much in the way of family. She has just one mourner, Mike, who is in Seattle. And expecting all of you. I thought that I would share some of what Mike shared with me and elaborate on some of what I've already shared. And I don't normally go this route, but under the circumstances that I've just described, I feel it would be appropriate to offer the opportunity for anyone here, if you wish to come forward and say a few words about your memories of Carole, about your relationship with her impact on you, anything else that you feel would be important for us to know and to just simply put out into this space and into the world before we lay her to rest. Does anyone wish to come forward? Please introduce yourself and identify your relationship with her.
My name is Cynthia. I started off as one of Carole's caregivers and then became manager of the company. When I first met her, she did not like me. We used to fight tooth and nail. But I stuck around her because I could see something in her, a certain type of kindness, and I could see her frustration of not being able to do things. It's an honor. It was an honor knowing her and being a part of her life. She taught me a lot. Every year, we would take the time to write out checks, and she would donate her money to different foundations as a way to give back. She used to love talking about her students. Her face would always light up, telling us stories about them. She loved birds. Her cousin in New Mexico used to send her pictures all the time. Apparently, we used to go bird watching together. She couldn't anymore. He would send her pictures, so she could still see them. She used to do creative projects like watercolor and stuff like that. A bunch of the work she did in her house that she shared with us. She definitely adored her father. He was like her hero or something. But she took with her everywhere she went. I got to know her and be a part of her life. She showed me what it's like to. She challenged me a lot. She's very stubborn in the end, but she presented different opportunities and helped me grow as a person. And I'm going to forever be her best friend. Grateful that all of you shared.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
I'm Danny. Carole came into my life probably at the perfect time. I was sort of lost. But at the end of it, she didn't like me in the beginning either. She wanted me out of her house. I think for the first month, I called Cynthia crying, like, she hates me, she hates me. But at the end, I think I learned so much about Shakespeare. She constantly corrected me on my grammar. She's like, where did you go to school? And basically, who raised you? Why are you speaking like that? And then now I do it naturally because she's constantly was correcting my grammar. And Carole can cuss. I don't know if anybody has known that, but let that girl get upset about something. I think she became probably like one of my best friends. Like I was supposed to do for her, but I think she did more for me. I don't know. She just did so much. I'm glad she got to go the way she did and smoke. I'm so glad she didn't get those cigarettes taken away from her because she wanted those cigarettes so bad. And I was not perfect. I would sneak her cigarettes. One at 10 o'clock, she knew those cigarettes had to go away, and I would act like I didn't see them and secret, but I love Carole so much, and Shakespeare now too, and birds and bunnies. I think I did look like a crazy woman outside her house looking for bunnies. I loved her, and thank you guys too for all coming. She put up with me.
One more.
So I'm Emily. I was Carole's neighbor for the last 9 months. So thanks for showing up constantly over there, arguing with Carole about well, you've fallen and you need to get help. So when I saw your guys' cars coming in, well, that was such a relief to basically the entire neighborhood. We were all worried about her, all checking in. So she was definitely one of the smartest people I've ever known. She loved the history. She loved the birds when some of the trees had to come down because they were damaged by the snow and dying. She was very upset by it. The apple tree behind her house, she actually planted herself. It was just a little baby tree way before I was ever there, and now it's a huge tree. It's a questions of the tiles under it, but we won't worry about that. So that's all. I think she's a wonderful woman. She's very smart. She loves cigarettes. But it's when you're in her house, if anybody ever has been in there, like you guys have, amazing. The art on the wall is amazing. She can tell you everything about every piece on the wall in it, and their history. And so,
One more. My name is David Hart. Sean here and I know care. Read this. To meet, to care for her directly. Share our life. There's a couple of things I want to say. One is that I'm sure that she would turn to me and say, remember those filters I use on my cigars all the time? I told you I would not. She was emphatic. Her lungs are full. So I'm pleased for her that her plan worked. She was fiercely independent. She wanted to live on her terms. Respected that about her. I was grateful for that example she set for me. Wanting, achieving. And then lastly, I will always remember that at the end of a time helping her out on visits, she would say, she would look at me and say, thank you, David. I knew that she meant it. That despite her efforts to keep everyone at a distance, she felt that. Thanks to everyone for offering us impromptu reflections to elevate our some reflections from Mike. At some point in his adulthood in Seattle, he wound up working with somebody who had grown up here and had Carole as a teacher. He was very touched to hear from this adult colleague his memories of his sister. Mike recalls that Carole liked movies. She didn't like music, according to Mike. She liked theater. It's not so much into music. She liked to cook. She liked pizza. Mike's sense, which I feel we've heard confirmed from those who've shared here, is that Carole was happy. Felt that she found particular happiness when she was teaching. Parents. Mike enjoyed going to movies with Carole, playing with the pets when they were young, horseback riding. And he'll think of her when he reads, because both of them internalized that passionate love of reading that was impressed upon them by their parents. We were speaking the other night, he was looking at the books on his shelf and noticing ones that he had shared with Carole. He said they would mail books back and forth to each other. He remembers the ones that he recommended to her. And he was particularly moved when she shared with him her positive response and her appreciation for his recommendations. She was the expert. She was the teacher of literature. She was validating his taste. He was also very impressed with her taste and with her recommendations. He noted in particular a book that Carole recommended to him, Pulitzer Prize-winning book, All of the Light You Cannot See, about a blind girl during the Nazi occupation of France. He also recalls the title of A Gentleman in Moscow. I enjoyed very much. Another was Aztec by Gary Jennings. Historical fiction about an Aztec man at the time of the Spanish conquest of Mexico. And an official biography of Marco Polo. All these points of connection that brother and sister shared. Mike remembers Carole visiting him in Seattle, particularly one time when she was coming back from a trip to Asia. He would visit her here, care for her cats back when they were part of her life. He had a funny memory about the prom to East High School. Her date showed up in a tuxedo, but with no shirt. He had a hairy chest. It sounded like it was just an absurd episode that they always remembered and laughed about. We've heard about Carole's fierceness, her independence, her stubbornness, which Mike confirmed. She had a streak that was insistent about certain ways. The idea of correcting grammar fits with Mike's memories of Carole as someone set in her ways, determined, fierce, independent. These themes are very fitting to reflect on today in the middle of the festival of Hanukkah. We recall the Maccabees who stood up to oppression, overthrowing an occupying regime in order to preserve their way of life, their independence, with a fierce commitment to their Jewish identity, to their land, the land of Israel, to their freedom. These are values that were important to Carole, both in terms of her relationship to Israel, which she was very supportive of, in her general outlook on life, and in her particular way of living fiercely and independently, insisting way. That is a part of who we are as a people and what we celebrate this week. The idea that our light will not go out, but we will light, we will add light to darkness, we will insist on persevering, which Carole did. What anyone else said or tried to do to her. That perseverance will endure among all those of us who knew her. We know that all the lives she touched as an educator was for the better. all of her students. May they continue to prosper. Art, thanks to the instruction and guidance and inspiration, love of art and literature that Carole impressed upon them. She passed on what she received from her parents. May we continue to spread the light as we make our way through this celebration of Hanukkah, this celebration of perseverance. And as we remember the woman persevered fiercely, with commitment to her values, to her independence, to her sense of self. Now ready to lower her casket into the ground. Al Makoma, Habo v'Shalom. And Carole, go unto God in peace. ישוב העפר על הארץ כשהיה, והרוח תשוב אל האלוהים אשר נתנה. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. To incorporate a little bit of Shakespeare, Carole, who loved the bard so much, to adapt those words to his deceased friend Hamlet. Good night. Lights the angels singing to thy rest. We will now bestow what tradition sees as the final act of kindness upon Carole, by placing earth onto her casket. I like to think of this return to the earth as return to the source of life, the nutritive source of life. And this is Carole's final resting place, and I like to think of the earth that we place over her as like a blanket that we place over her as we tuck her in lovingly for rest. There is a traditional manner of placing what we do is take the shovel and hold it in an upside down fashion. We turn it 180 degrees, convex side facing up, and we lift a little bit of earth. As we balance that little bit of earth, what that means is that we slow down a little bit, be a little more careful. That hesitation signifies that on the one hand, what we are doing is a sacred act of kindness, and the finality that it signifies is one that we do with heavy heart and with those mixed emotions. So we also indicate that we're not engaging in the regular use of a shovel. We're doing something sacred. That first little bit of earth, we place it onto the casket. We then rotate the shovel back into its normal position, and we do 2 more swings of earth. Having done 3, that's considered a complete act. We then return the shovel to the pile of earth, and we allow the next person to engage in the same complete act. We don't hand the shovel to anyone else. Everyone picks it up from the pile, does 1 small offering in the upside down position, and 2 more, and then places it back. Let's have a chance to do that. Let's line up if we wish to. We have now completed our obligation to Carole. Vessel that carried her life these 89 years to the earth. Consider and offer our prayer for that which transcends the body, Carole's eternal essence, her soul. שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה. Jack הכהן וממי שהלכה לעולמה, בגן עדן תהא מנוחתה. אנא בעל הרחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמי, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה, ונאמר אמן. El Malay Rachamim, exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, to the soul of Carole Speyer, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful one, we ask that our beloved Carole find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. May be seated. In addition to the earth that was here that we offered, we from the land of Israel. Also, honored her as we have laid her to rest, prayed for her to be a blessing. We now shift our attention to mourning. Mike, who's watching this a little bit later today, is now a mourner. To sisters, needs have been addressed. He now begins the journey of mourning, which he will do by reciting the mourner's Kaddish. I talked with Mike about how, since there were not going to be any mourners present here, but I also didn't even have here, I thought we would not recite it here, but what I benefit, and of course to honor Carole, but also to support Mike when he watches this later, is that I will recite Mike watching all along with me, so that you can hear the responses of his congregation. The idea of Kaddish is creation of eternal grand nature of God, which God's presence to be more manifest. Celebration of life and a gift of peace. It's said in community by mourners, and those present with the mourner represent communal support. Across time and space. Present mourner supporting him, saying Kaddish. So I just advise once again, you know the responses, I invite you to participate at those moments. Mike, say these words along with me. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra chirute, v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל. שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. And the one who makes peace in the heights, make peace for us, for all the people of Israel, for all the dwelling in the world. And comfort to those who are saying, seated. Eternal God, creator of all life, you give the gift of your spirit and we are formed. Take it in return and we turn to dust. We are grateful for the many blessings in Carole's life. We now turn to you, seeking comfort and light. Arachaman, compassionate one, grant us solace and strength. Reinforce our faith, for you are our rock and redeemer. Let us say, normally, burial at graveside. When the mourners leave this place, those of us gathered form two lines, make an aisle through which the mourners walk as they depart, and again represent the support that they need at their time of sorrow and grieving. And we offer to them traditional words of comfort. Jewish tradition has us say to those in mourning. We won't make the lines because Mike is not here. What I will invite us to do in a moment is to rise and come this way so that we can all be in the camera and Mike can see all of you as the support, much in the way that he would have received had he been here as he would walk through those aisles. In fact, maybe we would even form two lines right along here, looking towards me. What we'll do is we'll say these words. Hamakom yenachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim, which mean, Hamakom literally means the place. It is a special name for God. It acknowledges that God is presence. God is place. Wherever we are, in whatever place we are, we wish for and we welcome God as a source of comfort to be in that place. As one leaves a certain place, God is present and moves on to another place. We ask that God continue to be with that person or with those in need of God's comfort. And so may the ever-present source of comfort grant comfort to you, along with the remnant of those who mourn for Zion and Jerusalem. That last part of the wish for comfort acknowledges that one who becomes a mourner is not only entering into the chain of tradition of Jews who are but enters more deeply into Jewish people's experience of losses that we have suffered at the national, particular destruction of Jerusalem. The idea is that as devastating as those calamities were for our people, so too is the devastation on a personal level when one loses family. And just as God was present for our people, helping us endure, to persevere stubbornly, as Carole embodied, our own losses as a people, so too we wish for God to provide that uplift, Mike. As you heal as part of the mourning process. So let's have everyone come forward and form a couple of lines here. Into the camera. So have an equal number of people on each side. Face a partner. Come and let's have two lines. Let's get some people on this side here. So we'll have the camera kind of in between the two lines. There you go. And Mike, normally, if you had been here, you would walk through these lines. Receiving these expressions. So we say to you, Sha'ar Avelei Zion Yerushalayim Hamakom Yenachem Etchem B'toch Sha'ar Avelei Zion Yerushalayim. May the ever-present source of comfort grant comfort to you, Mike, along with the remnant of those who mourn for Zion and Jerusalem. Comfort, may your sister's memory be a blessing. Thank you all for coming to honor Carole, to engage in this holy